Hi there, Justin from Green Props. What is a bonsai? So by now I'm sure you've heard the more traditional or technical definition, which is a tree or sometimes even a plant in a pot. So I'm going to go with the more subjective definition of what a bonsai is and what it means to me. So first, I think a bonsai is a balance between horticulture and arts. There's a lot to learn in bonsai. There's tons of horticultural techniques that vary from species, and there's different ways to express yourself artistically. A lot of people go for more fantastical or whimsical style with lots of curves and exaggerations, and other people go for a more naturalistic look where they try to imitate what they see in nature. I like both ways, so I don't want to single myself out to just one category. I'd like to try a bit of everything. Bonsai is also a journey, and it's a journey that doesn't necessarily have a destination at the end. It's all about the experience along the way. For many people, it's meditative. It's a nice way to relax. It's very mindful. It's a great way to just forget about all the worries of the world and just be here and now in the moment and really focus on what you're doing. Bonsai is also something that teaches you patience. It's something that usually it can't be rushed, and it gives you some valuable lessons about not trying to push things ahead too fast. Take your time and just appreciate the journey, basically. Community. Bonsai is something that can allow you to meet new people and sometimes even join a society, make new friends, people from around the world. So I think it's a great way to participate in the community and meet all sorts of new people. Bonsai is also something that has a tremendously steep learning curve. Many people will say that you have to learn the ins and outs of each specific species before you even think about purchasing one, so that you don't kill it and you take care of it properly. But in my opinion, not everyone can afford the time or money to be an apprentice with a bonsai master, or to study all the books and all the videos online. It's not possible. There's too many different types of species, especially if you want to branch out and try different types of species and styles. So I don't think it's feasible, especially if you're a hobbyist such as myself. It's really about the experience and having fun. So I don't think you have to be an expert before you start, because you're never going to get started. So for me, I know it's sometimes it's tragic, and sometimes you make huge mistakes that you just never get over, but you got to get started at some point. And for me, the best way to learn is to make those mistakes and then to dive deep into the specifics of each particular obstacle as I encounter it. And that's when I do more in-depth studying and research. So many people say it's not actually a bonsai until you shape it properly and have it in a bonsai pot. And perhaps that's true in the more traditional or rigid definition. And for me, it's quite possible that I don't actually have any bonsais yet. I think a lot of people would just consider what I have to be pre-bonsai, and I'd probably agree with that for the most part. But I feel like bonsai is about the journey, and it's about seeing something that inspires you, and you have this vision for your tree, and you have this idea in your head that maybe no one else will understand, of how you see it, and you see the potential and looking ahead to the future. And often you get attached to it, and you start to actually fall in love with the tree. So that makes it all that so much more tragic if something bad happens to it and you lose it, which I've come to learn happens quite often. I'm sure the greatest bonsai masters in the world lose trees from time to time. Sometimes it's inevitable. So bonsai is also about loss, you know, and acceptance. There we go. Should have got a close up for that one. Flames are even up here right now. Beautiful even in death. Last of the dead trees for now. I have a couple other sick ones that probably won't make it this year, but I'm holding on hope until it's over. So hopefully they pull through. But I think it's just part of the hobby, you know. Not all of them are gonna make it. Especially if you're not a bonsai master, chances are you're going to kill quite a few along the way. So what it's also about is persistence and hope. You'll get knocked down and you'll fail, but what's important is you get back up again and keep on trying. This came from a pine cone I collected along the Ottawa Canal, which at one point I think was the longest man-made body of water in the world. I think it's been beaten in the last few years. But this is my first pine seedling I've ever grown from seed. And I have lots of hope for this little guy. I think one day, I hope, it'll be a beautiful tree. So no matter how many times you fail, you gotta keep trying. And you know, eventually you'll learn from your mistakes and you'll get back up stronger and better than before. So finally, and perhaps most importantly of all, the thing that draws most of us to bonsai in the first place is that feeling that you get. And I guess it's hard to describe, but it's a feeling that brings you away to a different place. When you look at a beautiful little tree that's a scaled down representation of a giant, magnificent tree, and it's almost as if you're hovering in midair, looking in or looking down at it. And that's what I think most of us are chasing when we pursue this hobby. That's why I do it, and I'm sure that's why most of us do it. Most importantly, that it's the feeling that I get when I look at a beautiful bonsai. And that's what it means to me. So, thank you for watching my video, and on to the next one.